Hello, and welcome to today's Flip Math lesson. Today, we are going to be talking about multiplication reasoning with two-digit by two-digit numbers. Your learning objective is, I can solve a two-digit by two-digit multiplication word problem by explaining how I got my answer in pictures, equations, and words. Pause the video as you write down your title and your learning objective. Now, we need to talk about what exactly is multiplication reasoning. Multiplication reasoning is explaining how you got your answer to a multiplication problem. We can use equations, pictures, and words. There are 3 steps that we have to go through when we are talking about multiplication reasoning and thinking about how we got our answer. Step 1 is to reread the problem and determine what the problem is asking us to find. Step 2, determine the solution, which is the answer, to the problem using a method of your choice, and then writing an explanation of your thinking in words. Step 3 is to review your solution and determine if it is reasonable. I don't want you to write down all 3 steps, but I would like for you to write down the definition, multiplication reasoning. Pause the video as you write down the definition, multiplication reasoning. Now that we understand what multiplication reasoning is, let's look at an example. I'll walk you through one. There are 25 dozen cookies in the bakery. What is the total number of cookies at the bakery? My first step is to think to myself, what am I trying to figure out? So I have to think to myself, what do they want me to figure out? Well, they want me to figure out how many cookies are at the bakery if I have 25 dozen of them. Step 2, now I have to think about, well, what exactly is a dozen? And how many are in a dozen? I know that there are 12 in a dozen, just like in a dozen eggs. So now I know that I can create my equation. I have 25 dozen cookies at the bakery. So now I can write my equation. My equation would be 25 times 12. Remember, there are 25 cookies, and each 25 dozen cookies, 25 dozen cookies, and I know that there are 12 in each of those dozen. So next, we have to solve using a method of our choice. I chose to use the area model. So you will see that I have each step of the area model here. I divided 20 and 5, which is 25 in expanded form, and then I divided 12 into 10 and 2, which is expanded form, and then I multiply each of my smaller sections to get each answer for the smaller section, so then I can add the totals of each of the smaller sections together to get of 300. I added 200 plus 40 plus 50 plus 10 to get a total of 300. So there are 300 cookies at the bakery. Remember, our steps are to reread the problem and determine what the problem is asking us to find. Then we found the solution to the problem using a method of our choice. Remember, I used the area model. Now I have to write an explanation of my thinking in words. When I'm writing an explanation, we want to get in the habit of talking about what we claim our answer to be. So here is a sentence stem that you can use when you're explaining your work. I claim my answer to be, and then you'll write what you think your answer is. And then you'll write the next statement that says, my evidence is. You have to prove with reasoning what you think the answer is. So let's go back to our question. We know that there are 25 dozen cookies in the bakery. What is the total number of cookies at the bakery? If we look at all of our math again, we'll see that we have 300 cookies. Now we have to write an explanation in words. Here is my written explanation. I claim my answer to be 300. My evidence is first I broke up 12 into 10 and 2. Then I broke up 25 into 20 and 5. Next, I know I have to solve the area of each smaller rectangle section to get my partial products. My partial products are 200, 200, 40, 50, and 10. To get the area of the whole rectangle, I have to add up all of my partial products. Finally, I add them together to get 300. There are 300 cookies in the bakery. This reasoning and this written response supports my answer or my claim that my answer is 300. Now it's your turn to practice. You only have one practice problem tonight. It says, solve the following math problem. Use multiplication reasoning to explain how you got your answer. You must use the statement, my claim is, my evidence is, in your answer. Your question reads, Matt has 67 boxes of chocolate. Each box holds 32 pieces of chocolate. How many pieces of chocolate does Matt have? Make sure you show your work for how you got your answer, and then include your written response using the statement, my claim is, my evidence is. Have a great evening.